Welcome to Aaron Plays. In this episode, I'd like to go through an old classic, Breakout Normandy. Considering we have the 78th anniversary of the invasion coming up soon, I thought I'd get this back off the shelf. I played it quite frequently back in the early 90s when the game came out, and I thought, well, I haven't played it in a long time. I recently, within the last 3 years, bought a new copy of it, or a second user unpunched copy, and I thought, well, let's put it on the video, see if the game still stands up to today's modern standards, and have a playthrough. So I punched out the counters, did a bit of counter clipping, set up the map boards, and read the rules. Good to go. Let's see what this classic still has to offer. Well, here is the map board without really any pieces set up on it, and to be honest, I still think it looks glorious. You've got the actual beachheads covered by those actual boxes here, here and here. So you've got your Sword, Juno and Gold beaches for the British and Canadians, and you've got your Omaha and Utaha beach over there, and you've got these here are zones that the Germans can come on to reinforce, and these are all called areas. The map goes all the way through up to the Continental Peninsula and Cherbourg. So, various tracks that keep record of events and such forth that's going on. You've got the daily track, a track for impulses and recording, and then you've got victory points track and a chart to keep track of what's fallen to the Allies, and the victory point track is also used to track supply. To the side here I've got this is the Allied forces ready to invade, and I've got the German forces I'm ready to put on the actual map board in their setup starting locations. And that's it for the initial, with nothing on the board. Let's go into a bit of detail on some of these areas. So you notice that there are different colours on the actual board here, and there's also different shapes. You've got like a square and a circle. The different colours, the brown here shows where the Allied shipping, the naval bombardment can actually target. The green, well, I should say the brown is for the Commonwealth fleet, and the green is for the American fleet. The squares denote bocage. So any area with a square setting is a bocage area. The numbers in an area refer to, or the first number shows the area number, and the plus modifier shows the terrain effects that the defender will get if that area is attacked. You also have different borders. Okay, and solid lines. Solid line denotes a river line, and hence why you've got bridges across it, whereas the dotted line is open ground. There is one other, and it's like a fuzzy line here. I'll zoom a little bit on that. That denotes a flooded area, because the Germans flooded the area just before the invasion. And here you can see some blue. Those are areas that can be affected by the German Le Havre battery. I don't intend to give a full detailed breakdown of the rules, but I do intend to give an overview of the actual game. The base game, or basic game, is played over a week. There is an extended game which takes it right up to the 26th of June, but focusing on the basic game, you play the first week, and there's a set of victory conditions that are required for the Allies to win. If they don't, you can go into the extended game, and take it further than that. But we'll concentrate on the basic for now. On the actual turn record track, which is here, is the daily weather. So you've got a little counter which shows that it's sunny, or if it goes overcast. Also on the track there, so it denotes the general weather for that day. Though the weather can change throughout the day, but it denotes the general weather for that actual day. So the first 3 days are sunny, then you've got an overcast, another sunny, overcast, and then sunny again. But depending on a set of die rolls, that weather can change. The more overcast it is, the more supplies the Germans can get through, and the further the units can actually move, unhampered by the Allied air power, which there is an Allied air power counter, but that denotes the use of tactical air support in combat, rather than the interdiction, which is represented in the weather. So the game uses pulses. The Allies have an impulse, then the Germans have an impulse, and the impulses are alternated between the two. And the first die roll the Allies make of each impulse also denotes if that ends the actual turn. So looking at the impulse track here, all right, you've got CBA 0, 1, 2. If the die roll is that the Allies make, and all die rolls with regard to that are a set of 2d6, if the result is equal to, incorrect, the result is less than wherever this marker currently is, on here, actual fact we use this marker. So say the marker is in the 4 space, and the Allies roll a 3, the turn would end. If they roll exactly the number that this marker is on, then the weather changes, and we mark it with, if it was clear, we'd mark it with overcast. And if it's greater than the number, then the marker has moved on for the next impulse. That way, the further this marker moves along, the more likelihood that the turn will end. So if it starts in that spot there, we know that there's going to be at least 2 impulses before there's a chance of the turn ending. With the consumption of supply, this marker can be moved further back, giving the Allies more impulses. The Germans can also use supply to bring this marker forward, but of course the Germans do not have as much supply as the Allies have to take that marker further back. So a quick look at the counters. Standard wargaming type. You've got attack, defence and movement. Those 3 numbers at the bottom. You have the cross, sort of NATO symbols. So denoting that this is infantry. The actual unit information, the little 3 bars above show this is a regiment. And then you've got the number on the right hand side, 22nd Regiment of the 4th Infantry Division. However, the reverse side shows the unit once it's spent. On this side, you've just got a defence value. So a spent unit cannot move normally. It can do a thing called regroup, which we'll go through at some point. The little number on the circle there shows where its setup area is, and the other information is the same. So you've got a fresh side, so it's able to move, to fight, attack. But once it's done those things, it is then flipped over to its spent side. So you've got the green being the Americans, the tan being the Commonwealth, and the Germans have got the Wehrmacht, have got the bluish. There are some black units for the SS. For tank or armoured units, you've got the armoured symbol, still the same values, and you also have a spent side as well. Okay, and you've got artillery, The artillery symbol, again, you've got to notice that the attack value is underscored. That means it can't be the lead unit in an attack unless it's just doing a bombardment. And the spent size are generally pretty weak. Then you've got counters for shipping, fleets. Again, once it's used, it's used. And tactical air support as well, which the Germans don't have those particular counters. So that sort of concludes my basic intro to the game. There's the box in all its glory. It's for its age, it's looking pretty good. I'll set it up ready for the next video. Hit the like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and let me know in the comments if you've played this game, had this game. There's an updated version done by L2, I believe. I don't know if there's many rules changes or such forth, but I do remember this one being pretty tight on the rules. There didn't seem to be many questions or errata back in the day, but you know, again, I'm talking about 93, 94, 95, so it's a long time ago. But any comments, much appreciated as always. Until next time.